Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a very sensitive topic, why teachers in the UK has such a high turnover and why there are many people leaving teaching jobs within the first 5 years of their teaching career. Here are the 4 main points I will be talking about today. It is just my personal observation and experience. It doesn't mean actually the whole industry looks like this. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, based on my teaching experience back in London last year, comparing to my teaching experience in Australia, there are some common things. Let's say, because you're dealing with teenagers, you're working with students. So the first main factor causing teacher leaving their jobs are students' behavior. Of course, this is always a difficult and challenging topic. There are some really bad behavior towards teachers, and there are some students, they're really, they don't want to follow the discipline in the school, and they always challenge their teachers, so which causing a lot of mental baggage to teachers. So for every teacher, I think you really enjoy being in the classroom and delivering knowledge to your students, but before you do this, you have to make sure you manage your class, you manage your students' behavior and discipline well, before even teaching them something. So from my observation, in some of the schools in London and Australia, you probably have to spend over like 50% of your time in one period just to managing the class discipline and make sure everyone's listening, not talking, before you teach. So a big component of your job, instead of teaching, becoming babysitting, let's say. And then many teachers feel like they're not doing their job, they're just looking after students, they're trying to manage the classroom, the discipline, instead of really teaching. The second factor I can think of is that lack of support from the management team. There are some really good schools, of course, there are some really good principals and leadership teams, of course, but what I'm saying here in general, I don't feel like as a teacher I got fully trusted by the management team up there, especially if the principal or the leadership team didn't give you enough space to do your teaching. You have to be confined into their procedures and policies. You can't really do much. Of course, every teacher has a different teaching style, but if you're asking a teacher to follow a certain procedure to do their job, they feel like they can't really show the students what they can do. You're just doing like a robotic procedure and teaching, which means that will affect your teaching quality. And every time you're seeking assistance, you're trying to ask for like flexibility, doesn't matter regarding your teaching or your working style from your management team. Normally, you don't feel like you get enough support. That's why some teachers, they just leave their job. They're not happy with their leadership team. The third factor is the amount of admin work you have to do and paperwork you have to do on top of your teaching duties. So as we all know, we have roughly about 20 to 25 hours teaching load per week, and full-time working hour is 38 hours. So which means we're supposed to have only like 13 to 15 hours admin or paperwork to do. But in reality, in a school, you spend a lot of time on meetings, marking, other unnecessary admin work. It took up so much time that you don't have energy and time to do your lesson planning, which is the most important thing to deliver a quality lesson. But that's how it works in the system. You just feel like you spend too much time doing something you don't understand, and all the paperwork, all the data, all the meetings, I don't see the point most of the time, but you just waste time on doing those things you have to do. And most teachers, they feel like they don't see the point of teaching then if you're doing all these things over teaching. That's why teachers leave. And the last factor I can see is the salary. Of course, if you're studying, for example, business or other subjects, you could just go to corporate and to climb the corporate ladder. And I know maybe the starting salary is slightly lower than a graduate teacher, but along the time, after maybe a few years, if you're really good at your job in the corporate world, and then you climb up the corporate ladder, you have a much higher cap in terms of your salary. But for a teacher, normally for government schools, they publish the pay scale. You just go up year by year. When you reach to a certain year, and you have to apply to be a leading teacher and to get a higher salary. But you can even see after 20 years, your pay scale is just capped at a certain amount. It's not low, but it's not as much as you would expect based on what you're doing and your workload. So people studying business or other subjects in uni, they prefer not to become business teacher in the school rather than working in a corporate. So those are the 4 factors that I observed, and I was saying this based on my experience both taught in London and Australia. And if you like this video, or if you want to comment, or if you have some different opinions, you're welcome to leave your comments down below. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.